ほら、ルフィ、今一緒に海賊になる仲間を探してるんだ。
Hello guys, welcome to my channel The Wandering Zoro, your go-to destination for anime-related content. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest videos. In today's video, we're going to be diving into the series, so be sure to stick around until the end, and let's get started. In the beginning of the story, we see a green hair who is about to find out about his quirk. The green-haired boy name is Izuku Midoriya, who has turned 4 about a month ago. Hovi, Izuku. Mom, today is the day I will get my quirk. Izuku ran and jumped around the house. He was very excited to know what quirk he will get. Hov, Inko. I know, honey. Today is day my sweet little bean bag would get his quirk, and also the day we visit the quirk doctor. Just wait a sec, I will get ready, and then we will go to the quick doctor. In her mind, Izuku, you better have a good quirk. After a few moments, Inko got ready and went to the quirk doctor. When they arrive at the quirk doctor, Inko gets out of the car and tells him to also get out as well. After that, they went to quirk doctor for quirk examination. Quirk doctor. Hello, dear. Young one, my name is Dr. Tsudai Garaki. You can call me Dr. Garaki. To find out about your quirk, we would have to take out your blood sample and quirk. After the test, Dr. Garaki. Well, little Izuku does have a quirk, but... Inko, but what, Doctor? Garaki. Well, you see, little Izuku quirk is a lit bit of villainous. Inko, what do you mean by villainous quirk? Dr. Garaki. Well, you see, the young one's quirk is. Name, Izuku Midoriya. Age 4. Quirk, destruction. Description, has a form of energy inside his body. Openly releasing that energy will cause everything around him to cease to exist. Drawback, overuse could kill him or endanger his life. Hov, Izuku. Does that mean I can be a hero? Dr. Garaki. Yes, young one in mind are another wannabe hero. But his quirk would be great use for the master. Izuku. Did you hear tha, mom? Hov, Inko. In mind, brat, out of all the quirk, he have to get a villainous quirk, one that could just destroy. He is pretty much useless if he just knows to destroy, and I am quite sure with this type of quirk he will definitely become a villain. And I will be labeled as villain parents. Inko. With a fake smile, thank you, doctor, we got to go. She grabs Izuku hands tightly and drags him to the car. Izuku. Mom, it hurts. Inko. Shut up, you monster. Throws Izuku into the back. Hov, Dr. Garaki. Oh my, from the look of that mother, she was going to abandon that child, that we don't have to waste time to kidnap the child, that we can just use this opportunity to turn him into a villain. Starts to call his boss. Hov, Inko. Inko drives the car despite Izuku's cries. Having enough of the crying, she shouts at Izuku, stop crying, you monstrous brat. Izuku then stays silent. Inko drives her car into a rural area where most of the criminals are found and where the crime rate is high. She then gets out of the car and opens the other side door of the car and grabs Izuku and throws him to the ground. Upon being thrown, Izuku begins to cry and asks, why did you throw me, mother, with a sobbing voice? Inko, because you are a good-for-nothing villain and a monster who only knows to destroy things. If you stay with me, you will probably harm, or worse, kill me. From now on, you are not my son, Izuku Midoriya. I am disowning you. With that, Inko left Izuku on the street and went towards the car and started driving. Hov, Izuku. He was staring at his mother walking figure. Even after his mother left him, he was still staring at the place where his mother parked the car. Then he started to cry, why did this happen to me? Is it because of the quirk that I had? After crying for 2 hours, he fell asleep in the alleyway. After 2 hours later, when Izuku opened his eyes, he saw some dark figures surrounding him in the night. Once the moonlight fall upon them, he saw their faces, and when he saw their faces, he was terrified because the people who were staring at him were some low-life villains. Villain 1. Oh, brat, you are finally awake, huh? I thought you were gonna keep sleeping. What is a brat like you doing here? Asked the first villain. Izuku. In a quivering voice, I got abandoned by my mother. She left me here, cried Izuku in a sobbing voice. Villain 2. Starts laughing along with the rest of his group. Stops laughing after a while. So a brat like you got abandoned by his mother, huh? Hey guys, why don't we kill this brat right here? Said the villain. We can end this kid's miss series. Villain 3. Yeah, we can, but First, we will torture the brat before killing. Villain 4. Yeah, that's a good idea. The villains start approaching Izuku as Izuku starts moving back from them. Slowly, he meets the dead end from his back. As the villain starts to approach Izuku, he started to back down until he meet the dead end at his back. Puff, villains. As Izuku reached the back the end, the villain started to mock Izuku. Villain 1. Looks like that's the dead end brat. Villain 2. Now let's play, shall we? The villains grab Izuku and started to beat him. As the beating process was going on, a hand from behind suddenly came and caught the hand of a villain and punched the said villain. As the author villain stopped and looked around, they saw a man with gray hair and black eyes wearing a black suit and black pants standing there. The man said, "Isn't it a bit rude of you to beat and torture a child?" said the man. The villains asked, "Who are you?" The man replied, "Who am I doesn't concern you. Besides, why would it be important to know for dead corpses?" The villains would laugh and snarl at the man. They would tell the man, "We think you have a screw nuts in your brain. We are 4 and you are just 1, but I think you should think carefully about your situation." The man replied, "I have already thought it clearly that I will kill you all for hurting a child and for trying to kill a child." The villains laughed again and said, "Hey, old geezer, either you are insanely crazy or stupid." As one of the villains goes to punch the man, his pun would easily blocked by the man. The man would punch that villain, skitting him across the ground. The villain would crash along with other villains. At this, all the villain would get angry and rush at him. The man would dodge all the attacks of villains easily and would retaliate with his own punches and kicks. When he would land a punch, a sickening sound of cracks and crunches would be heard each time. All the villains would lay on the floor. All the villains would be scared of him and would beg for their life. But the man would not listen to anyone. He would kill all the villains. Then he would look at the beaten child and lift him up gently and would take him to his house. When Izuku wakes up, he would find himself in a soft and warm bed. But when he looks around, he would find himself in an unfamiliar place and surrounding. He would try to recall about how he got here, but suddenly the door would open and the man would come inside and would ask him, "How are you feeling? Are you hurt anywhere?" The child would get scared and asked, Who are you?" The man would answer, "I am Deku Shigaraki. People also call me by the name All for One. You don't need to be afraid of me. I won't harm you." After hearing those calm and soothing words, Izuku would calm down. He would ask the man, "Why did you save me from those villains?" The man would reply, "Because I can't see a child getting beaten even though I am villain myself." "Could you tell me about your parents?" Boy All for One would ask the boy. Izuku would reply, "My parents abandoned me." Izuku would say in a raspy voice, "Oh, poor child. How sad. Don't worry now, I am here. I will not abandon you. Instead, I would raise you like my own," said All for One. Izuku, in a raspy voice, "You really would not abandon me." All for One, "Yes, my child, I wouldn't abandon you. In mind, how can I abandon a valuable asset like you? After all, you would come handy in my upcoming plan. If it wasn't for Dr. Garaki, I wouldn't have found out about you few hours ago." Puff, All for One. As I was sitting in the room and was thinking for my upcoming plan, I suddenly got a call from Dr. Garaki. He told me about a boy with destruction quirk, and I got really excited and happy about it. I told Dr. Garaki to send some men and to follow the car. After a while, All for One would see some low-life thugger villain beating the kid. He would also see his mom abandoning him. He would smile and would get a crazy idea of using him as a pawn piece. At the present, All for One took Izuku into his plaques and told him, "This is the place where you will stay from now on." Izuku just nodded his head. Time skips 6 years later. During the 6 years, Izuku has trained his body and quirk at most by the guidance of All for One. One more thing, he hasn't met Shigaraki yet. It was as usual Izuku was training his quirk when suddenly All for One came behind Izuku and told him that today he was going to meet someone. Izuku then suddenly stopped his training and asked, "Master, whom am I going to meet?" "You will find out soon," stated All for One. After that, All for One opened the portal and asked Izuku to follow him behind as All for One passed through the portal. Izuku stood there for a few moments, but soon he followed All for One's lead. When Izuku walked through the portal, he looked around his surrounding. He found out that he was at the bar where he found 2 figures standing along with All for One. One being a man covered in mist with a face mask, and other being a light blue-haired boy of around 18 or 19 years old sitting on the table. All for One began to spoke, "Izuku, I want you to meet my successor Tamura Shigaraki," and the man standing on his front is Kurogiri. And Kurogiri and Tomura, I want you to meet my another student and your right-hand man Tomura. His name is Izuku. Izuku and Tomura stared at each other for a while, then they both nodded their head and looked away. All for one thought, may my plan will go smoothly after all. Few months later. During these few months, Izuku and Tomura got to know each other and got along with each other pretty well. Both form a bond with each other and got to know about each other past. We now see All for One sitting in his office when suddenly a large voice is echoed through the building as the wall of the building is broke through. As the person came through, breaking the walls with a voice yelling All for One. As the surrounding were covered with the dust and concrete. Oh well, if it isn't All Might, All for One stated. As the dust and concrete is cleared, we saw a figure with blonde hair with two long V-shaped bunny-like strap wearing light blue tight shoot along with some red-shaped lines standing there. I have finally found you, All for One, stated All Might. All for One laughed and asked, how did you find my base? None of your concern, All Might stated. Few hours early. All Might's POV. As I was in the call with a person named Neomesa who was a famous detective, we were currently searching for a man or villain named All for One. I was very desperate to search the man. After a while I hung up the phone and sighed. Then from behind a hand was placed on my holder. When I looked behind, I saw an old man with short height and wrinkles all over the faces. The old man was my mentor or sensei. His name was Gran Torino. Tashi, I hope you are not searching him for a pity revenge over your master, Gran Torino stated. My look darkened a bit as dome flashes of old memories came into my mind. Those memories were of my master and me. I still remember how she died and also remembered her last words to me. Then after a while I quickly answered my master that I wasn't searching All for One, my old enemy, for revenge. Even though I stated that I knew that deep inside my heart I was doing this for the revenge for my master. After my reply, there was a long and awkward silence between me and Gran Torino. Then suddenly my phone rang through that silence. I looked into my phone to check whose call it was. When I saw the number, I quickly picked up the phone. It was phone from Neomesa. I was quite thankful for Neomesa to call me at that moment because it broke the awkwardness between me and Gran Torino. When I picked up the phone from Neomesa, he told me that they had found the location of All for One. I hurriedly asked him to send me the monsters All for One the location and also told him to inform the heroes to evacuate the near citizens. Then I left for the delegated location. When I reached there, I saw that all of the citizens were evacuated. Then I headed towards his office. I broke through all the walls and doors until I reached the end and shouted All for One. When I broke through the last wall, I heard the voice stating, well, if it isn't All Might. How did you found out about this place? I didn't respond that answer. Then we both stared at each other. Third person POV. As the smoke and dust cleared, both All Mights and All for One gazes meet each other and both started to glare at each other. As a breeze of air passed by them, they rushed at each other with their fist in air, ready to hit each other at blinding speed, which even top 10 pro heroes can't keep up with. When their fist collided with each other, a huge shockwave was created, shaking the entire building along with the entire city. They both began to fight by punching, kicking, and clashing their fist. Each time they clashed, a huge shockwave and crater were created. They were fighting toe-to-toe and blow for blow. Then suddenly All for One kneed All Might in the stomach, making him cough up some saliva. Then All for One threw a powerful punch in All Might's face, sending him across the multiples building. All Might stopped himself by landing on the building roof, skidding across the ground. Then once a guy vaulted towards All for One. The building on which he landed was destroyed when he took off. All Might launched himself at All for One with a kick aimed at All for One's head. All for One caught the kick and threw All Might across the building. All for One then charged at All Might with a haymaker, but All Might dodged the attack and kneed All for One in the gut, knocking the air out of him and sending him across the buildings. As All for One stood up, he began to rush at All Might. Both of them again rushed at each other. Both of again started punch and kicks and blows. Each punch and blow started to create massive shockwaves. The whole city again started to rumble. After some exchanges, All for One began to use his quirks and started to float the building's rubbles and cars around them. Then he proceeded to throw each and every building rubbers and cars towards All Might one after another. All Might either dodge, deflect, or tank them. After that attack, dust of smoke covered the area. After the smoke was cleared, All Might was revealed to be mostly fine except some bruise and scratch. Both of them again started to rush at each other with barrage of kicks and punches. with each clash emitted huge and strong shockwave. In the midst of their battle, All Might suddenly grabbed All for One's punch and lift him over his shoulder and then started to slam him on the ground here and there like Hulk did to Loki and Thor. Ignore the voices and imagine Hulk as All Might and Loki and Thor as All for One. After slamming All for One here and there, All Might threw All for One across 4-5 building. The building that All for One went through started to collapse, creating dust and rubble everywhere. All Might started to look at the rubble intensely, because he knew All for One would not go down with only this much. Then suddenly black tentacles started to shoot out from the dust and smoke, which All Might jump above the tentacles by narrowly avoiding it. Then as the dust clear, we see All for One with couple of bruises and small tickle of vital fluid coming from his head standing there. As All Might leapt in the air, rendering him immobilized in the air. All for One saw the opening. Then in an instant All for One appeared in front of All Might and grabbed his head and slammed him to the ground, creating a massive crater in the ground. The impact created the dust-abbed rubble spread around along with a huge shockwave. The impact also created a small quake. When All Might's head was slammed in the ground, he felt the dizziness but quickly shook it away due to years of experience. As soon as All Might shook the dizziness, All for One started to kick and stomp on his ribs and stomach. All Might began to cough of some vital fluid as All for One kept stomping and kicking his ribs. As All for One was going to crush his ribs, All Might grabbed his foot and threw him across the building. All Might immediately got up and started to pummel All for One by punching All for One on face. All Might landed punch after punch, blow after blow in All for One's face. As All Might was going for final and decisive blow on his face, All for One caught the punch and stabbed All Might in his stomach with the help of his metal string quirk. After being stabbed, All Might coughed a ton of vital fluid from his stomach. All for One kept pressing with a strong force at the wound as All Might was grunting in pain and was slowly started to lose the strength. At the last second of battle, All Might, ignoring all the pain, punched All for One on the face with everything he had. The blow caused a massive shockwave that shook the entire city, as All for One was sent flying through multiple battle and was in near-death situation. With this, All Might won the fight he started. He was sure that he had killed All for One with that final blow. Slowly, pros started to arrive at the scene. After the battle between All for One and All Might, the pros started to came to the area along with the police. They started to scan the area for the body of All for One. But to the dismay of everyone, they didn't find the body of All for One. The police and a group of heroes searched for the body everywhere, but they couldn't find the body. But All Might and others were sure he was dead because of the fact that All for One was in the worst condition before the final blow, and the final blow also connected in his head. All Might and other heroes decided to keep this matter to themselves and not reveal this to public. With this, the matter was disclosed and the public was given false information about the villain. Somewhere in the deep and dark laboratory, we see a man in cloth walking toward the tube. In the tube, we see the battered and beaten body of a man. The body is of the man none other than All for One, which was held in a tube for healing. The doctor would come close to the tube and would say to himself, "It was a good thing Krogiri wrapped your body into my laboratory, otherwise you would be dead by now." Flashback few minutes after the fight. When All for One was sent across through the multiple building with the final punch of All Might, he came to the halt and went skitting to the ground. After landing on the ground, All for One was knocked out coldly and was on the verge of dying until a portal opened right beneath the All for One's body. When the body of All for One went through it, the portal soon closed. After he went through the body, All for One landed in the laboratory of the Dr. Garaki or Kyudai. As the doctor would see the condition of All for One's body and beaten, battered and on the verge of death, the doctor would immediately begin the treatment of All for One. After 12 hours of treatment, All for One's body would be stabilized and the doctor would keep All for One in the incubation tube for healing his body. End of flashback. It has been 2 days since the battle, and All for One still hasn't regained his consciousness. We see Krogiri entering the laboratory of the doctor and asking him about All for One's condition. The doctor would shook his head and say that Master's body is recovering, but the recovery is still slow and he still hasn't awoken from coma. He is still in comatose state. Krogiri would only nod his head. He would ask the doctor what to do about Izuku and Tamura. The doctor would tell him to bring both of them here and inform them about Master's All for One condition. Krogiri went to the bar and brought Izuku and Shigaraki to the laboratory of the doctor. Pov, Izuku and Shigaraki. As we both were sitting in the bar, suddenly Kurogiri came through the portal and told us to come with him. As we followed Kurogiri to the place where he wrapped us. As we followed Kurogiri to the dark laboratory, we saw the floating body of our master in some strange tube with various tube attached to his body. When we saw Master in that sense, we both were enraged. Izuku, Jay in shock and disbelief. What happened to Sensei? In a low and raspy voice, how did this happen? Who did this to Sensei? Asked Izuku, enraged. Shigaraki, whoever did this to Sensei, I won't spare him. He must pay, stated Shigaraki. In angered tone. Kurogiri, All Might and Master fought some days ago, and All Might put Master into this state. Kurogiri stated. Izuku, how did All Might encounter Sensei? In a rage but calm tone. Kurogiri, All Might somehow found out the location of Master, and as soon as he found out about his base, he attacked Master for his old dead teacher's revenge. Izuku, this so-called symbol of peace is just a fake hero who just attack others for revenge and wouldn't care about any civilian. That fake. Shigaraki, you are right, Izuku, my little brother. That All Might is a fake. We will get our revenge by killing him and destroying the hero society. Izuku, yeah brother. Let's destroy him. Just you wait, All Might, very soon we will destroy you. With that vow, both of the boys left the laboratory. After seeing All for One in that condition, Izuku began to train even harder than before. Shigaraki also trained harder than before. Time skip few months later. It has been a few months since the battle between All for One and All Might. All for One still hasn't woken up from the comatose state. And for that reason, our little villain has been still upset about that and has still been training. Another few weeks would pass, and we would see somewhere in the laboratory we see the floating body of the man. The man would start to wake up slowly, and the doctor would also notice it. The doctor would immediately press a button, and the tube would be opened. The doctor would place the body in a bed and would connect the face and body with various tube. The man was none other than All for One. He would slowly begin to open his eyes. As he would open his eyes, he would look around his surrounding to find out that he is at the laboratory of the doctor. He would try to recall how he got here, but as soon as he tries to recall, sudden flashes of memories would come back to him. He would remember the fight between All Might and him and how the fight went. Then he would say to himself, I lost the fight against All Might. He would then notice the presence of the doctor and would ask for the condition of his body and present situation about his plans. He would also ask Doctor about for how long he was out. The doctor would answer, Master, you were outsold in coma for 2 months. And your face was pretty badly destroyed by All Might. So I could not recover it. Right now you are only alive through those tubes in your face. If you don't believe it, why don't you check it yourself? The brings mirrors towards the All for One and shows it to him. All for One. So my face is really badly destroyed and my body can't be moved properly. I will remember this humiliation and have I revenge against you. Just you wait, All Might. Dr. Garaki. Yes, Master, you can probably get your revenge on All Might by destroying the society and his successor, because according to my report, All Might had also suffered a massive injury from you which had limited his hero work nowadays. All for One. This is good news for me. Once I recover from my injuries a little bit, I will find his successor and kill him or her with my own hands in front of him. A evil laughter is echoed through out the hall. Oh, by the way, Doctor, how are my prodigies, or should I say my disciples, are doing? Dr. Garaki. They are doing fine, Master. Ever since after receiving news about your state, which was put through by All Might, Izuku's hatred towards Hero Society and heroes has increased, and for Shigaraki, let's just say his hatred has been more fueled. When you were in the comatose state, both of the boys trained very hard each and every time. They both had gotten pretty strong. Heck, I would even say Izuku is ready to receive his first mission. All for One. That's a great news. Inform them that I wish to see both boys in front of me in a few hours. Dr. Garaki. Very well, Master, I shall inform them about their recovery through Kurogiri. With those words, the doctor left the laboratory. To left All for One in a deep thought by himself. Now we see Izuku and Shigaraki standing and kneeling in front of All for One, who was sitting in his throne room with tubes covering his mouth. He began. All for One. Welcome, my prodigies. Stand up, you don't need to kneel in front of me. I heard from the doctor that while I was in coma, due to fight with All Might, you both trained to the limit of your body. Is that true? Izuku. Yes, Master, I and Shigaraki both trained very hard to the limit of our body. And Master, the doctor told us that you were in that state because of the fight between you and All Might. Is that true? All for one. That is true, my child. All Might did put me in this state. And it is also true that I lost to that All Might in venomous voice because of my own overconfidence. Just because I lost to All Might, that doesn't mean that I didn't give him a fight. I also sustained him some permanent injuries and scar. Shigaraki, what do you mean by that, Master? Shigaraki asked in a confused voice. All for one. Well, let's just say that he won't be hero for a long time and would soon enough be retired. Because I had sustained him a permanent damage at his vital organs. As you both might be wondering why I called you both, hey? They both knew that All for One didn't call them here to inform him that he was fine or to check on them. Then Izuku asked. Izuku, Master, why did you both summon us in front of you? All for one. It's because the doctor told that you both were training hard, and the doctor also told me that he thought that Izuku, you were ready for your first mission and target. Izuku, eyes widened at the information in a shaky voice. Master, you don't mean you summoned me here for? All for one. Yes, Izuku, you are thinking right, because I summoned you here to give you your very first mission and target in which Shigaraki would help and observe you to gain some experience. Izuku. But why would you send Shigaraki along with me to help or to observe me? I alone can handle the mission. In an annoyed voice. All for one. Izuku, my child, I know you think you can handle it alone, but trust when I say you would make some mistakes because you too inexperienced. Izuku. In a grumpy voice, okay, fine. But what's the mission, Master? All for one. As I was going over that, my boy. Your mission or your target is to finish Senju Akihito. He is a gangster of a big gang. You have to take him out. Any questions, Izuku? Izuku. Yes, Master. Why do we have to take the gangster out? Why not a hero? He could be our great ally or recruit him. All for one. Izuku, my boy. You are correct. We might be able to recruit him, but he might be even our greatest enemy in future. You have still much to learn, my boy Izuku. Not every villain or everybody like you will be our ally. Plus, it is our client request to take him out. It is like killing two birds in one stone. Do you understand, Izuku, my boy? Izuku. Yes, I understood, Master. All for one. Now would you take the mission or not? It's okay if you say no. Nobody would question your decision. Izuku. No, Master, I will take the mission. All for one. Very good then. You will leave for your mission tomorrow. Take a good rest tonight and be prepared for tomorrow. Izuku. Okay, Master. With that, both Izuku and Shigaraki left the place through the rap quirk of Kirogiri. Time skip tomorrow. As the sun rises, Shigaraki and Izuku gets up and starts to plan up for the night mission. At night, as we see Izuku and Shigaraki getting ready for their mission, specifically Izuku for his first mission. We see Kirogiri setting tight coordination and location for their teleportation on mission spot. As Kirogiri prepared the rap gate, both Izuku and Shigaraki passed through the rap gate and reached their target's location. Izuku. So this is the building and alley they are currently staying at. Well, let's get started then, Shigaraki. Shigaraki. Okay, let's get going and do your mission properly, and don't forget the tips I gave you for your first mission. Izuku. Yeah, I won't forget. With this word, Izuku started heading into their target's base first, and shortly after Shigaraki followed him. As Izuku went inside, he saw a couple of goons sitting and relaxing in the hallway. So he decided to sneakily go behind one of the goons, and he took out his blade or dagger which was given to him by All for One. He then sliced the throat of the goons. Suddenly, those goons realized the presence of Izuku and were in shock. So shocked that they couldn't even notice Izuku slicing their head off. As Izuku finished the goons on the hallway of ground floor, he started to check other rooms and slowly started to kill the goons silently like an assassin. Before he went to first floor, he made sure to kill all goons on the ground floor. As Izuku marched to the first floor and started to kill the goons of first floor silently like in the ground floor. He knew it was going to take a long time because the building was of 15 floors. He then slowly stared to kill the goons of each floor silently as an assassin up to the 8th floor, until one goon saw him. The goon who saw Izuku started to call his allies and started to attack Izuku. Izuku, seeing this, also rushed at the goon, and he traded some blows with the goon before he kicked the goon and sent him flying across the window, and the goon started to fall towards the ground. As the backup for the goons arrived, they started to shoot him with bullets, some with their quirks, and some came to fight him hand to hand. He started to rush at the goons and fought with close combat with the front line of the goons, but it was getting difficult for him to fight because of the long-range goons, so he decided to kill the long-range goons first. He then slowly backed away from close combat forces and launched himself at long-range forces OC the goon. All the goons were at shock because of the speed of the boy. They couldn't see his movements with their eyes. As Izuku reached near the long range, he took out his dagger and sliced their heads quickly and efficiently. After that, he started to rush at the stunned goons who were in shock. Izuku swiftly killed the goons because they laid their guard down. Now Izuku knew that he couldn't go past through the next floor as easily as the other floors because up until now no one knew or sensed his presence. But now the story was different, so he decided to go with plan he created with Shigaraki. He started to took the bombs and grenades from his back and started to put the bomb and grenades on the each floors as he went down back to the ground floor and exited the building. As he ran a few hundred yards away from the building, and as soon as he was out of the radar of the bombs and grenades, he pressed a button. As soon as he pressed the button, a loud explosion ran through the entire alley in place. As Izuku saw the building collapsing from the explosion, and he also saw fire surrounding everywhere near the building area. And he knew that with that he killed most of the goons in the building. As we see Izuku heading towards the building or explosion area, that he saw his target or boss of the goons, Senju Akihito, in a pretty damaged state laying in the rubble. As Akihito was caught off guard due to sudden explosion that occurred in his base. Slowly he started to rise from the rubble in an aching pain, and when opened his eyes that he saw a brat standing in front of him. He could see that the brat was no possibly older than 10-year-old. He saw him smoking at him. At that moment he knew that brat was the one who did the explosion to his base. And with an angry face, he charged at the so-called brat. As he was damaged badly, his movements were sloppy, but not to the point where he couldn't fight a 9-year-old brat. As both Izuku and Akihito charged at each other and their fists collided with each other, which generated shockwave around the area they stood. Soon both started to trade blow with each other. Each blow generated the shockwaves. They traded their blows with kicks and punches. Soon enough, Izuku kicked Akihito in the ribcage, which sent him flying towards a dumpster. As Akihito got up and got more furious because the brat kicked him, sent him flying to the dumpster. He got angry and attacked the brat with rage and fury. As Akihito came in a speed which Izuku could hardly keep up with and punched him in the gut, knocking the wind out of him. Then Akito kicked Izuku in the face, sending him tumbling and skidding to the ground. As Izuku, ignoring the pain, quickly got up and rushes at Akihito. Izuku rushed at Akihito at the same speed as Akihito, which surprised him. Due to this, he laid his guard down and paid the price in the form of kick in the gut, which knocked the wind out of him and he fell on his knees. Then Izuku started to punch him on his face non-stop, and the vital fluid started to come from Akihito's face, but Izuku didn't care about it. Izuku kept pummeling the man on his face with punches. Akihito's face was beyond the recognition due to Izuku punches. Izuku decided to punch him until he was dead, and he did succeed to punch Akihito until he's dead. Akihito was dead due to massive blood loss. After confirming the death of Akihito, Izuku used quirk and said a word Hekai, which formed a beam of purple ball in his hand, and he decided to release it at Akihito's body, which in turn erased the body as if it never existed in first place. From afar, Shigaraki was in shock at how Izuku finished the task and mission and how much destruction he did during the mission. Soon Izuku started to come towards him and told Shigaraki to tell Kurogiri to wrap them to the base. Shigaraki did as Izuku told him to do, and after a few minutes both of them were wrapped through the portal to the base. After the mission, both Izuku and Shigaraki went to their hideout with the help of Kurogiri through his wrap quirk. Hideout. We see Izuku and Shigaraki taking to each other along with Kurogiri about their mission and how it went. Shigaraki. Man, Kurogiri, you should have seen how Izuku's first mission went. It was totally badass and cool. In an excited tone. Kurogiri, really? In surprised tone. Shigaraki. Yes, he did very great in mission. He planned everything smoothly. All of a sudden, the monitor screen in the bar turns on. On the screen, that we see none other than Olgor One himself. He was listening their conversation through the monitor. From the moment Shigaraki and Izuku entered the hideout, he was eager to find out about Izuku's mission. Do he eavesdrop on them through monitor? As soon as the monitor screen turned on, All for One suddenly ordered Shigaraki and Izuku to meet him for the report of the Izuku's mission. Then the screen turned off. As soon as the screen turned off, Kurogiri prepared a rap gate to teleport Izuku and Shigaraki to All for One's location. Both Izuku and Shigaraki went through the rap gate. As soon as Shigaraki and Izuku entered All for One's location, they checked around their surroundings. There they noticed that the room was somewhat dark and only one light was turned on. There they saw their master Ai-sensei sitting in the chair with mask and tube around his mouth and body. As soon as they saw their master, they both bowed down in front of him. As they bowed down, All for One began to speak. All for One, stand up, my children. You shouldn't bow in front of me. Instead, you should look into my eyes when you need to speak with me. Shigaraki, but master, wouldn't it be disrespectful towards you if we didn't bow towards you? All for One, no, it wouldn't be. Anyway, we are going off topic. Do you guys know why I called you here? Izuku, I know. You called us here for the detailed information of my first mission. All for One, you are correct, Izuku, my child. I am here to hear a detailed explanation of your first mission. So Shigaraki, can you give me the report in full detail? Shigaraki, yes, master. Well, you see, Izuku first planned a very well-thought plan for the mission. And the plan was to infiltrate the place without getting noticed by anybody and eliminate all the targets. He did just as he planned. All for One, indeed a very well-thought plan. But if that was all the plan he thought of, then I am disappointed in you, Izuku. What would have happened if you failed your initial plan? Shigaraki, no, master, that wasn't the holy plan of his. He also had the backup plan prepared. I see the initial plan failed. All for One, oh, my backup plan. Let's hear about that backup plan, shall we? Shigaraki, well, the backup plan was if he was found out, he would immediately eliminate all the enemy of the floor and would place bombs in each and every corner of the floors he was within and would blast it after he was a few radius away from the building and bomb. All for One, well, that is a splendid plan. Well done, Izuku, my boy. So how did the plan go? In a curious tone, Shigaraki, well, his first plan went in each and every floor up until he reached 8th floor. One of the goons discovered Izuku and alerted the goons of the floor. They started to attack Izuku, but he defeated all of them. Then he quickly planted the bomb in each and every corner of every floor. After planting them, he quickly came out and ran a few distance away from the building. Then he blasted the building with the bomb, which created a huge explosion, shaking the entire area. All for One. So that's how he eliminated all the target in his whole gang. Shigaraki, well, he couldn't eliminate the target by the detonation of the bomb, but his whole gang was eradicated. But target was heavily injured, and Izuku engaged close combat with the target. Although the target was injured, he still gave Izuku a tough fight, but Izuku still managed to defeat him and erased him from the existence. All for One. Splendid, Izuku. You did a very good job for your first mission. Izuku, bowing down, thank you, master. Throughout the whole conversation, he didn't utter a word. He just stood and listened to the report that Shigaraki stated. He was very happy to get a compliment from his master, All for One. After the All for One told them to leave, but before sending them away, he told them that from today onward, Izuku would also do the mission solo. Time skips 6 years later. Unknown location. We see a blonde figure wearing a mask and hoodie under with black combat pants with black combat boots standing near a rooftop. This blonde figure was the newly rising vigilante named Destructor. He was 5'10" tall. His name was Katsuki Bakugo. Name: Katsuki Bakugo. Age: 16. Quirk: Key of Spiritual Energy. Description: has an energy stored inside his body upon releasing can create a beam of light which can destroy the city and buildings. Drawbacks: upon overusing it can put a heavy toll on his body and can also lead to death. We see him walking through the roof. He stops when suddenly he hears a scream near in an alleyway and goes to check what's happening there. There he saw a girl about his age to be raped by some thugs. Upon seeing that, his blood rises and he goes to stop them. The thugs heard a voice to stop what they were doing. They looked to see the vigilante standing there. The thugs saw the vigilante and laughed at him because they were confident that they could take on the some hero wannabe, but the blonde vigilante would prove them how wrong they were and how wrong it was to think he was a hero. One thug charged at him with a right hook, but Kitsuki quickly dodged and attacked him with a punch that went straight through the stomach of the thug. Upon seeing the rest of the three thugs were shocked and scared. The woman was also shocked and scared. After the shocking moment, one of the thug told Kitsuki a monster and he wasn't a hero. And hero doesn't kill anyone. But Kitsuki bluntly told them he wasn't a hero. Upon hearing that, the thugs were shocked and scared. One of the thug tried to run away, but Kitsuki quickly caught up to him in a blinding speed which no one could follow and instantly came face to face with the villain and kicked him on the skull, which upon connecting cracked and turned backward. The thug was dead instantly with a kick. The other two thugs got so scared that they went their pants. They knew that they couldn't come out alive out of this situation and charged at him in a panic simultaneously. But Kitsuki easily caught their attack. He kicked at one of the thugs at full force, which upon connecting bursted the head and the insides were splashed on the ground. Kitsuki then again punched through the stomach of another thug and the thug's body fall lifelessly on the ground. After finishing the thug, he looked at the girl who looked scared from him. Of course anyone would be scared after the stunt he just showed in front of anyone. He stayed at the girl for some moment and asked if she was okay, and the girl nodded her head silently. After getting a firm nod, he silently went away. The girl stood in silent and shocked. She then quickly contacted the police. After a few minutes, the police arrived at the scene and asked the girl about the incident. The girl explained the incident in a dread tone. After eliminating the thugs and vanishing from the scene, we see Kitsuki returning to his apartment. After reaching the apartment, he changed to his pajama and went to the bed. We see a 4-year-old blonde-haired kid with red eyes playing with another child who had green hairs, green freckles, and green eyes. The blonde kid name was Kitsuki Bakugo, and the green freckled kid name was Izuku Midoriya. They both were best buddies of each other. They both played till the sun dawned, and both decided to go to their respective home. The next day again, both boys met at the park and started to play with each other again. Kitsuki: "Hi Izuku. Come on, let's play." Izuku: "Yeah, come on, let's play in the park." Kitsuki: "But what shall we play today? Do you have any ideas, Izuku?" Izuku: "Let me think for a second. Oh, I got an idea." Kitsuki, in an energetic tone: "What is it?" "What is it?" Izuku: "Calm down, Kitsuki. Why don't we go to the park and play heroes and villains?" Kitsuki: "That's a good idea. Come on, let's go, Izuku." After a few hours, both boys reached at the park and were about to play, but were in argument about who shall be the hero and who shall be the villain. Izuku: "No, Kitsuki. I will be the hero and you will be the villain." Kitsuki: "No, I shall be the hero and you shall be the villain, Izuku." They both were arguing with each other until both of them said in unison, "Kitsuki, ow, Izuku. Why don't we fight each other and whoever loses the fight would be villain?" Again, both in unison. Kitsuki: "Oh, Izuku. Hey, I was the one who came with the idea first." As they both started to argue with each other, but after a while both of them started to laugh. After the laughter, Izuku: "So shall we start our fight?" Kitsuki: "Yeah, let's fight. I will kick your butt." Izuku: "Let's see who would kick whose butt." With those words, both boys stared at each other for a moment until a leaf fell down between them. As soon as the leaf fell down the ground, both of them rushed at each other. As soon as they came close towards each other, their fists hit each other on the face. Both of them tumbled a bit, but recovered from it. They both started to punch and kicked each other. They both traded blows for a bit. Suddenly, Izuku grabbed Kitsuki by his head and slammed into the ground. Kitsuki quickly recovered and kicked Izuku in the stomach, skidding him across the ground. As Izuku also quickly got up and rushed at each other, they both fought till the sun dawned. Both boys were in their last breath. Both were feeling very tired, but yet for some reason they both couldn't help but grin at each other and again start to fight each other. As both were fighting to their last straw, yet both of them couldn't stop to fight each other. Their bodies were heating immensely. Both boys could feel it as if there was some hidden power inside their bodies. With the last remaining straw of their power, they both tried to push the power from their body. As soon as both Kitsuki and Izuku released the stored energy stored inside their body, a battle of the energy ensued. As both their bodies let out the energy at the same time, their energy clashed with each other. This resulted in a huge explosion being emitted with their clash. The explosion was heard by nearby residents. As the explosion created dust and crater around the ground, The explosion also erased the near-living creatures and substances in the park. As the parents of the said children came towards the exploded area to search their respective child, they saw dust and cloud forming in that area. As soon as the dust cleared there, they saw the decimation created by that explosion, and in the middle of the ground was a huge crater in which 2 children laid down in the ground. Upon seeing clearly, the said parents raised an eyebrow as they recognized that the said children were their respective child. As both the parents of the children rushed towards the middle of the crater and picked their respective child and called the nearby hospital for the ambulance. A few minutes later, ambulance arrived and carried the children to the hospital. A few weeks had passed since the incident, but both children didn't woke up from the comatose state. After the clash incident, both boys were taken to the hospital and were admitted immediately. Their body was covered with injuries and scars. Their parents were horrified and shocked upon seeing their child's state. The doctors immediately admitted the boys and started the operation immediately upon arriving on the hospital. After the few hours of operation, the doctor came out and told the parents that their children were out of danger. But they were now in comatose state, and we don't know how long would it take for them to recover from that state. Hearing those words from doctor, both parents were shocked and saddened. It had been weeks since the news. At the mid-noon, both boys opened their eyes slowly. Both boys were feeling sore. They both tried to stand up. Both boys' muscle ached with each movement. Suddenly, the door opened, and 3 figures rushed towards the children and hugged them tightly. The figures were parents of said children, one being mother of Izuku and others being mother and father of Kitsuki. The mothers of the said children were crying and hugging their children and asked if they were all right. Both the children nodded in confusion. As soon as the children were out of comatose state, the doctor came and checked the children. After a while, the doctor informed the heroes and the police. As soon as they received the news, they rushed at the hospital. After a while, the pros and few officer reached at the hospital to interrogate the children about the incident. As they reached hospital, they went in, and a few pros were stationed outside the room of the children so they wouldn't scare the children while interrogating. Nobody's POV. As the door opened, it revealed 3 figures standing on the door. The first being a man with black hair, red eyes, and who looked like Sleepless Hobo. His name was Shota Aizawa, aka Pro Hero Eraserhead. The other figure was a man wearing black jacket with white shirt. He was also wearing a hat. The man introduced himself as Detective Tsukochi. He told them he was also a police officer and had a lie detector quirk. Both figures asked the parents and children to allow them to interrogate, or rather ask a few questions to them. As they interrogate, they got a few details. Then they started to interrogate the children. Aizawa. So, kids, I am Shoto Aizawa, aka known as Pro Hero Eraserhead. The man next to me is Detective Tsukochi. We are here to ask you children a few questions about the incident of accident. Will you agree to answer our question? Both Kitsuki and Izuku nodded their head, then Detective Tsukochi began to interrogate them. Tsukochi, so your parents found you guys laying in the middle of the crater after the explosion, and I am guessing that the explosion is somewhat related to you guys. Both boys nodded their head. Both Aizawa's and Tsukochi's eyes widened. Aizawa, and would you care to explain how that explosion is related to you guys? At this, both boys stared at each other for a few seconds and then both nodded their heads. Then Izuku began to explain. Izuku, we met each other at the park to play as always. But that day we decided to play heroes and villains, and we were arguing for whom to be villain. Kitsuki, then I came up with the idea that we would fight each other and whoever wins the fight would be hero and whoever loses would be the villain. Izuku, then we began to fight each other. I don't know what happened or what I felt, but when I was fighting I felt like I should keep going and shouldn't lose the fight. It was like I was in adrenaline. Kitsuki, I also felt same like Izuku. I also couldn't stop fighting. It was like I was craving for more and more exciting fight. Izuku, I also felt the same. But as we were fighting and getting tired, I felt some kind of energy or heat in my body. Kitsuki, I also felt like there was some kind of heat or energy in my body. I tried to reach to that heat or energy. As I reached the heat, I felt the energy or heat running throughout my body. Izuku, I also felt the same like Kitsuki when I tried to reach the heat or energy in my body. I also felt the energy or heat running throughout my body. Then I tried to release the energy outside of the body, and then I felt like my body was covered in a certain energy or aura. Kitsuki. I also felt the same as Izuku. When I tried to release the heat or energy from my body, I also felt like being surrounded by same energy, aura. When I released the energy, I also saw Izuku releasing same, but different type of energy. Izuku. When we both released our energy at the same time, our released energy clashed with each other. Then suddenly a huge white light engulfed us and shockwave was created by our clash. After that information, Aizawa looked at Tsukochi for the confirmation, at which Tsukochi nodded his head. Aizawa was shocked upon the information. After thanking the kids for the information, both of them left the hospital. After exiting the room, both of them informed the parents about chances of the quirk activation. They also gave them full detail about the incident. Upon hearing about the incident, both parents were shocked. Both parents of the children agreed to take their respective child to the quirk doctor. We all know what happened with Izuku in Chapter 1. But as for Kitsuki, once his parents found out about his quirk and considered his cocky and fighting nature, they thought that it would ruin their reputation, so they would always abuse and torture Kitsuki. Time skip 1 year later. The abuse and torture went for 1 year for Kitsuki. One day he decided to escape from this hellhole of the life. While trying to escape, his parents noticed it and chased after him. While running away, he bumped into someone. Upon bumping, he landed on the ground with his eyes closed. Upon opening his eyes, he saw a blonde and huge figure standing in front of him and was checking he was okay. This figure was none other than All Might himself. As soon as Kitsuki found out that the figure was All Might, he quickly asked for the help. But All Might refused to help, saying that he should seek for other heroes, and also told today was his daughter's birthday. After hearing those words, Kitsuki froze on his place. All after telling those words quickly left the place, and his parents quickly caught him and took him to the hellhole. After arriving at the hellhole, his parents started to beat him, but Kitsuki felt none because his mind was running through All Might's words. Hearing those words again and again, something snapped inside Kitsuki. While he was getting the beating, Kitsuki used his quirk and killed his parents and also destroyed the surrounding area upon using his quirk. After that outburst, he quickly ran from the place. After the incident, Kitsuki was basically homeless and became an orphan. He was searching for help from other people, but no one was ready to help him. After walking like an aimless soul, the boy's body finally gave up, and his mind also broke from the incident and torture. The boy almost lost the hope until when a figure came towards him and asked the boy, "What are you doing in an alleyway?" The boy hesitantly told his story. After finishing his story, the boy closed his eyes ready for the beatdown, but it never came. Instead, he was engulfed in a hug, and the man told him that he would take him in and make him his student and successor. As we see the old man hugging the child, the old man decided to take the child with him. He took the child to the nearest forest area. There they walked for half an hour or so. When they cleared the forest at the top of a hill, they could see a house. The old man took the child in the house and let the child to the bed for rest. Old man's POV. As I was going through the road for a walk, I stumbled upon a child who looked beaten up in a mess. His hands were covered in stains. I assumed that something happened with the child. The child looked scared and frightened. As I tried to approach the child to check if he was okay, but the child would back away from me. As soon as I realized that the child was afraid of me, I put my hands up, told him that I didn't mean any harm, and was trying to check on you. The child wearily analyzed me and nodded his head. Then I asked the child his name, and the child told me that his name was Kitsuki Bakugo. I also asked him if he was okay. At first he looked hesitant to answer, but he nodded his head. I asked him what happened with him. Then the boy began to explain his life story to me. Upon hearing the boy's story, I was enraged at the so-called symbol of peace, All Might, and at the boy's parents. I looked at the boy with the eyes of pitiness. I then decided to take the child under my wing. Then, I hugged the child and told him that it's okay now, no one is going to hurt him anymore. Then the kid asked me a question. "Who are you, mister?" I was bewildered for a second, then I sheepishly smiled and replied that my name is Saejima Kid. The kid just nodded his head upon hearing my name. After being freed from the hug, I took the kid's hand and lead him to my home place. To reach my home, we had to go through various hills and forest. During the trip to my home, surprisingly, the kid stayed silent the whole time, even after going through the forest and encountering the dangerous animals and creatures. After a while, we finally reached our destination, which was my home. After reaching home, I took the kid inside and put him in the sofa for some rest. After all, I am pretty sure that the boy was very much exhausted after today's incident. I let him rest for a while. Time skip tomorrow. Katsuki's POV. I woke up in a different place which scared me for a second, and I realized what happened yesterday. I saw the same old man whose name I couldn't recall coming towards me with a tray filled with food. As soon as I saw the old man, I quickly got wary and scared and asked in a terrified voice, Who are you? The old man spoke in a calm and assuring voice. Old man. Oi, brat. You don't remember the man who took you in his house yesterday? Upon hearing the old man's word, he tried to remember what happened yesterday. Then suddenly, his head started spinning and flashes of yesterday's memory came in his mind. Me? Grabbing my head a little, oh yeah, now I remember. You said you would take me into your place. I also remembered you taking me in the forest and fighting with so many deadly creatures and monsters. But one thing is still bugging me. Old man. Little shocked that boys still remember even after that traumatic event. Oh, and what is that? Me. Yesterday you saved me and all that, but I still hadn't got your name? You still hadn't told me your name. At this statement, the old man's face planted, and after a while a VN popped on the old man's forehead and yelled, Old man, you ungrateful brat. You couldn't even remember my name. The one who took you in. Even though I told you my name yesterday. Me. In an annoying tone, yeah, old man. You might have told me and I couldn't remember it. So what if I can't remember your name? Old man, you should be grateful enough that I am taking you in. Ungrateful kid. Me. Yeah, whatever. Just tell me your name already. Old man sighed and decided to introduce himself to me. The old man told me that his name was Saejima and I was at his house, which was located at near the forest hill. After his introduction, I was startled for a second. After hearing his introduction, various questions run through my mind. The old man looked at my face and told me, Old man Saejima. After looking at my face for a second, it seems like you have some confusion and questions about me that you wanted to ask me. Me? I just nodded my head to the old man Saejima's statement. Saejima. Then go ahead and ask the questions. Me? Why did you took me in? Saejima. What do you mean why I took you in, kid? Is there a reason needed for me to took in a traumatized child from the street? Besides, kid, at that time, you looked like you needed help. So I helped you. Me? I mean, why would you help someone who just killed his own parents and who had became a murderer? Tears started form in my eyes. Saejima. Listen here, boy. You didn't do any wrong by killing your parents. You were just trying to survive from their assault. It is also fault of that hero All Might. Nobody's POV. Upon hearing All Might name, the Kitsuki's expression darkened and a small frown formed on the Kitsuki's face. After a while, Saejima ruffled Kitsuki's hair and told him to eat some food and to go to sleep. Kitsuki was about to protest, but his stomach growled and his face became flustered with embarrassment. At this, Saejima chuckled and ruffled his hair again. Kitsuki growled on the action, but didn't feel anything beside that. The next day, Kitsuki woke up in an unfamiliar room and surrounding. He suddenly got on guard and walked around the house slowly. When he was walking around the house, he turned around the house and found the garden near the house. The garden was really big and beautiful. At the garden, he saw the old man Saejima watering the plant. Kitsuki would head towards the old man Saejima. As Kitsuki approached near the Saejima, Saejima would feel Kitsuki's presence coming towards him. When there was only a few meter distance left between Saejima and Kitsuki, then Saejima would suddenly call Kitsuki and would ask a question. Saejima. So, brat, did you sleep well at night? Kitsuki. Shocked for a moment, yeah. I sleep well at night. In shocked and surprised voice. Saejima. Sighs and says, That's good to hear, brat, and judging your face expression, you are wondering how I am able to tell that it's you who was approaching me from behind. Am I correct? Kitsuki just nods his head. Saejima. I was able to tell that it was you who approached me from behind because I could sense from far away and you couldn't hide your presence very well. After all, you are just a child. Kitsuki just looks at him with a confused look. Saejima just tells Kitsuki that he would understand and learn when he gets older. After that, Kitsuki asked the old man another question. Kitsuki. Hey, old man. There's still another question that is bugging me. Can I ask the question? Saejima looks at Kitsuki for a second and tells what is the question, brat. I would try my best to answer your question. Kitsuki. Yesterday, I remember while coming here at the forest you fought some monsters that not even pros could defeat easily. But yet you defeated them like a child's play. So my question is, who are you, old man, and how did you defeat them so easily? Saejima took some time to think and sighed and told Kitsuki that. Saejima, I think I should tell you my real identity. I am Saejima and I am a retired famous vigilante executioner. I was the most wanted person in my days. Kitsuki's eyes would widen for a second. Then he would ask a question. Kitsuki, old man, had you also killed any person or villain or hero when you were a vigilante? At this Saejima would sigh. Saejima, yes, Brad, I had killed person when I was a vigilante. But I had only killed fake heroes and villains who cannot be changed. At this Kitsuki would be shocked for a second, but then he would nod his head. After a few seconds, Kitsuki would bow down to Saejima and would request to train him. Kitsuki, while bowing down, please, old man. I am begging you. Please train me, old man. I also want to be strong as you. Saejima, why should I teach you? Why do you want to be strong? Kitsuki, I want to be strong because when I killed my parents for abuse and AAs looking for help from others, but when nobody came to help, I really felt hopeless, powerless, and weak. And I want to become strong because I don't want anyone to suffer like me. After hearing Kitsuki's words, Saejima would be shocked and impressed. Saejima, very well, my boy, I would train you, because I like your spirit and answer. If you had said for some other purpose, I wouldn't have trained you. But let me remind you that the training is going to be a hellish one. Kitsuki, bring it on, old man. I'd already seen hell once, so I won't be that scared. At this, Saejima would smile and nod at him. Saejima, rest on the couch for now. Your body still needs some rest. We would start your training tomorrow. At this, Kitsuki would nod and would leave the garden for some rest. Before leaving, he would bow towards Saejima and would thank him for everything. After one day, Kitsuki's hellish training began. From that day, Kitsuki trained like there was no tomorrow. Kitsuki trained for 7 years with Saejima, and Saejima decided that Kitsuki was ready to be a vigilante. At present, an alarm would ring through the room and Kitsuki would wake up. After waking up, he would sigh for a second, would say, another memory of you, old man. Then he would look at the picture. In the picture, there was Saejima and Kitsuki having a barbecue. While looking at the picture, Kitsuki would get some flashback of the memory. Flashback. We would see dust and rubble everywhere, and the forest was on the fire. We would also see a destroyed house. We would see Saejima laying at the destroyed rubble of the house. He would cough off some blood and would tell Kitsuki to run, and would also tell that he isn't ready to face this monster. Kitsuki would feel hopeless again but would obey his master's order. He would run away from the forest while crying. End of flashback. Kitsuki would come out of his stupor and shake his head and would say, I should not try to think about that memory. Well, I should go for my job. After saying those words, he would get ready and would leave for his part-time job at a cafe. At Hello V Bar. At the bar, we see Kurogiri serving some drinks to both Izuku and Shigaraki. Both are sitting on the stool and discussing some plans to destroy the Hero Society. They both started to bicker with each other about the plan. Their bickering continued until someone opened the door. When the door opened, they both looked towards the doorway. Upon looking toward the doorway, there they saw a figure in black hoodie covering his face and wearing black shirt and pantalon with combat boots. Upon seeing the figure, Shigaraki became very happy and smiled with an evil toothy grin. Then Shigaraki spoke up. Shigaraki, took you long enough to come here at our base. Unknown character. In a scowling tone, yeah, the alleys were confusing and narrow. It's not my fault for being late when your base is hard to find out. Izuku. In an amused tone, hey Shigaraki, who is he? Shigaraki. Oh, he is our newest member of the league and soon to be our mole in UA. Izuku. Oh, so he is going to infiltrate UA as our spy and give us every move about heroes. His own grin formed on his face. Oh, interesting. I like the idea very much. Shigaraki. I knew it. You would like my surprise. Unknown character. Oh, Shigaraki. Who is this? Shigaraki. This is the other important member and founder of the league. You can also say he is my brother, I think. Unknown character. You never told me that you had a brother. Besides, you two look nothing alike. At this statement, both Izuku and Shigaraki sighs. Then Shigaraki explains. Shigaraki. Well, you see, we both aren't related by blood. We just consider each other brothers. Unknown character. Oh, I see. Izuku. Now he is here. Shall we talk about our plans and work? Shigaraki. I guess we can discuss the plan now. Unknown character. So, what's the plan? Shigaraki. So, our first step of our plan is to send you and UA as our mole. You are gonna be spy for us, and we'll have to inform about their every moves in detail. Unknown character. So, if I am going to infiltrate UA, I would have to take the entrance exam. Shigaraki. Yeah, that's correct. You would have to take the entrance exam. At this comment, groans and sighs. Izuku. Don't worry, you won't feel bored at the entrance exam, I guarantee that. Unknown character. In an irritating voice, what do you mean that I won't feel bored at the entrance exam? Shigaraki. What he meant is there will be a great surprise event for you in the entrance exam. Unknown character. Oh, and what is that surprise event? Izuku. Oh, you will soon find out the surprise event during the entrance exam. Izuku says that word with a sinister smile. After their discussion and meeting with left the place. Time skip a few months later. It has been a few months since the discussion between Shigaraki, Izuku, and now it's the day of entrance exam at UA. We see the traitorous spy going to take the UA exam. At the entrance hall during the speech, nothing interesting happened except for a dark blue-haired teen interrupting the speech of the President MIC. After the speech, gave his written portion of the exam. After written portion, all of the participants were taken to their respective testing sites. After reaching the testing sites, they wait for a few minutes for the physical portion of the exam to start. After a while, President MIC came again and explained about the physical portion of the entrance exam. After the explaining the physical portion of ECAM, which was to destroy as many robots as possible. Each of the robots were categorized into 1-pointers, 2-pointers, 3-pointers, and 0-pointer. After the explanation, soon the door of the fake city opened, and our traitorous spy ran forward, while the other participants just complained by saying that's cheating. There was silence when President MIC told them that there's no countdown in the real battle, just go, go, go. As soon as MIC said that, all of the participants began to run towards the testing site. As all the participants began to run towards the city area and started to destroy some robots here and there. Our traitorous spy started to destroy robot as soon as he saw some 1-pointers and 2-pointers. Then after destroying the first robots, started to enjoy the exam. He started to destroy the robots here and there without a care in the world. After destroying the robots for a few minutes, got bored from destroying the robots and decided to watch the exam as an audience. Started to observe the other participants. After a while, the ground started to shake suddenly. POV. As I arrive at UA front gates, I see many kids coming to participate in the exam from various places. As I also went to the exam hall where I gave the written portion of the exam. After the written portion, I went to the auditorium for the explanation of the patriarchal portion. After the speech of the MIC, we went towards our assigned arena for the test. As soon as the gate opened, I began to run as fast as possible. As I reached in the parts of Fake City, I encountered 2 1-pointers launching at me. As soon as I saw the 1-pointer, I ran towards them and smashed them into pieces with my punches and kicks. After that, I started to heading towards the deepest part of the Fake City and started to destroy the robots. As I was destroying the robots, I began to enjoy it for a while and started to destroy the robots here and there. After destroying some more robots, I started to get bored, so I stopped destroying the robots and decided to sit at the top building from where I can keep an eye on every participant. I started to observe many participants and some piqued my interest. After observing a while, I got bored again and started to think where was the surprise event that Shigaraki told me about. As I was thinking that, suddenly the ground started to shaking and every building in the fake city got destroyed. As soon as it happened, I started to smack and said to myself, looks like the surprise event is getting started. I also thought that this event is happening in every fake city area. At observations room, teacher's POV, we see a group of shadowed figures watching and observing the entrance exam. The figures were observing the students even before the practical exam began. And those shadowed figures were Shota Aizawa aka Erasure Head, Numeri Kema aka Midnight, Toshinori Yagi aka All Might, Hisashi Yamada, aka President MIC, Principal Nezu, Pro Hero Snipe, Pro Hero Lunch Rush, etc. These were the teachers who teached at UA except for All Might, who was going to teach these children. As soon as the doors opened, they saw a figure running through the crowd at Test Site B while the rest of the participants sat behind and complained about the participant cheating, leaving even before countdown began. At this, President MIC shouted that in real fight there is no countdown. Villains won't wait for the countdown to fight and pin you in the ground. Go, go, go. After those, all the other participants began to ran towards the exam center. After a few minutes of examination, Nezu decided to spoke. Nezu, so erasure anyone that catches your eyes. Erasure? Yeah. I like the hoodie-wearing kid and that blonde-hair girl's performance so far now. Nezu would zoom in on those two contestants and would see both of them destroying robots here and there. The teacher would also notice that the blonde-hair girl would also help the other participants occasionally, while the hoodie guy would just destroy robots here and there. When Nezu zoomed in on the blonde-hair girl, All Might aka Toshinori Yagi would grin proudly and tell everyone that the blonde participant was his daughter. When All Might said that, all of them would look at him with surprised and shocked expressions. Aizawa, you never told us that you have a daughter, All Might. All Might, well, you guys never asked, plus it would be bad if the public found out that I had a daughter and the villains might be after her. So for her safety I kept her a secret. Aizawa, I see you had done a great job for hiding her from the public as your daughter, but let's say. Before Aizawa could finish the sentence, suddenly the ground started to shake dangerously. When the teachers looked at the monitor, they saw that all of the fake cities were destroyed, and there were dust and rubble only. Suddenly, all of the teacher tried to unlock the door and rush towards the fake cities. But to no avail. The door wouldn't even budge. When Nezu saw the chaos ensue to the observation room, he slammed his paw on the desk very hard to get their attention and told them, Nezu, stop panicking and act like a pro hero, which you are supposed to be, not like a 5-year-old kid. After this outburst, everyone calmed down, and then Aizawa spoke up. Aizawa, Nezu is right. First off all, let's look at the screen first and check what caused this massive earthquake. As Aizawa said those words, all the teachers agreed with him and checked at the monitor screen. Upon the clearing of the dust and rubbles, all the teachers stood shocked. They were shocked because what they saw was all the 0-pointers standing in each city area and readying their attack. But before the 0-pointers could launch the attacks, all of the 0-pointers exploded, formed dust and rubble everywhere. After the clearing of the dust and rubble, all of the teachers along with the participants saw a deadly robot of the same height of the participant standing there. Everyone was shocked to see the robots coming from the 0-pointer. From that robot, a projector was displayed in every fake city. And at the observation room, all the monitor went blank for a second. All of the teachers were shocked for a second, then started to panic for the participants. After a while, at the screen, a mask was shown on the screen of the observation room. Not only on the observation, but also at the projectors which the robots displayed. The mask shown on the screen and the projectors were like that of the demon. Same mask like the picture was being displayed on the screens and the projectors. After that, silence rung at the surrounding for a few seconds. During that time, all the participants and teachers tensed up. After a while, a deep demonic voice came from the screen and projectors. Mask, good evening, my dear UA staffs, teachers, and participants of the examinations. Due to my technical interference at the practical portion, the exam has been cancelled. So for that, I would like to apologize to you all. But before the masked person could finish, a participant raised voice against him. Extra one, who are you to tell us that the examination is cancelled? And who are you to interfere in the exam? Besides, if the exam was cancelled, we won't agree with that. We had worked very hard for that. After that, everyone began to protest along with that participant who had appeared like a leader to others. Not only in one fake city, each fake city began to protest with an extra as their leader. While the participants were protesting, suddenly a beam of energy was launched towards the leader of the participants at each and every fake city. And the beam passed by among the rest of the participants. When the beam connected at the leader of the participants, a curling scream were heard by every participant in the fake city, which came from the every leader of the fake city. As soon as the scream died down, all the participants at the fake city screamed in horror and cry. All the teachers were shocked at first, then the shock turned into the anger and rage. After that, all the teachers tried to break the door of observation room, but to no avail. Suddenly, Nezu stopped the teachers and calmed them and told Power Loader to repair and check the system of the school. As soon as Power Loader received the order, he began to work on it. After that same demonic voice and throughout the fake city and observation room. Mask voice. Silence, said the voice loudly, which silenced all of the participants and teachers. After a few seconds, the voice spoke again. Mask voice. So now all of you are silenced. Hope none of you would interrupt me again. As I was saying, the previous exam was cancelled, so new exam would begin soon, right here and right now. And I would be the proctor of this examination. This left everyone speechless and stunned. After the statement of the Mars projectile that he would be proctor of the new exam, which he would, all of the participants and teachers started to panic. Many participants had different reactions. Our traitorous spy had an amusing reaction. He was excited that the masked voice was being proctor of the new exam. When he saw the masked voice obliterating the leader of the rebel, he was thrilled to the end. Because he was always thrilled in a life-and-death situation. Was someone who enjoyed spilling blood of anyone in a fight. He wouldn't even care if his own blood was spilled in the fight. As the chaos was arising among the participants and teacher, the masked voice spoke up again. Mask. Now that everyone got the information about the cancellation of the old exam and the beginning of the new exam, I hope that everyone is ready for the beginning of the new exam. At this, everybody at the testing sites nodded their head, but just from one glance, anyone could tell that all of them were tired and exhausted both physically and mentally. So nobody was ready for the new exam. Seeing exhaustion on every participant's face, the masked voice spoke again. Mask. Oh, sorry. I forgot that all of you just gave it your all at the previous examination. So all of you must be very tired from the previous exam. So how about this? I will take the examination after an hour. Till then, take some rest and eat some food which is being provided right now. After the statement of the masked voice, every participant released their breath, which they had held back for a while. After the announcement, all the projectors shut off and things began to work back to normal. After a while, all the participants began to compose themselves. After a while, food was being distributed among everyone. Everyone quickly took the food and ate it. While having lunch, there was a very long eerie silence at the fake city. A tense atmosphere was being formed in that eerie silence. Nobody spoke in that silence. Everybody thought the same thing. What will happen of us? And what is the new test about? All of the participants were thinking of the test scenarios and its result. But one thing all of the participants knew for the sure was that the test was going to be violent and brutal. After the lunch break, all the robots and projectors began to work again. The system control of the UA again went to the masked voice. When the projectors started, same mask was shown on the projectors and screen and spoke again. The mask spoke again in a delighted and excited voice. Masked voice, good afternoon once again, my dear participants. I hope that you all enjoyed the lunch break and had recovered from the previous examination. If not, then it's your bad because the new examination is about to start. After this statement, the mask stopped for a second for the information to sink in on the heads of every participant present in the test city. After a while, the mask projector spoke again. Masked voice, so before I start explaining about exams, I'm giving you a little reminder that don't interrupt me while I am explaining the exam portion. If you have any questions about the examination, you can ask about them later after my explanation, understood? After the statement, every participant took in the information and nodded their head. After a few seconds of eerie silence, the masked projector spoke again. Masked voice, so now that everyone understood not to interrupt me while I am explaining things, and I'm going to explain you guys about the new examination. You guys should know that this exam is going to be divided into 2 stages. On the first stage, only 10 people would be qualified from each fake city to enter the second stage. I hope everyone understood the explanation up to here. Those who still have some questions can ask right now. After this statement, there was an eerie silence of atmosphere among the participants for a few seconds. Then suddenly most of the participants began to raise their hands. And then the crowd was again filled with number of questions and noises. Masked voice. Silence, said the masked voice. Asked the questions one at a time while raising their hands. After this, everyone quiet down, and then everyone raised their hands. Among them, a blue-haired boy with glasses caught the attention of the mask, so he allowed him to ask all the questions. Masked voice, you there with blue hair and glasses. You will ask the question for everyone, as we all know that everyone have the same questions. Blue-haired boy. So what will happen to those who are disqualified on the first stage? And how many would pass the second stage? And what's the first stage about? After asking the questions, the boy and all the other participants felt their stomach twisted and were afraid of the answer. Masked voice. Oh, you should know what happens to those who are disqualified from the test. It is what you guys are thinking. All of those who are disqualified will be eliminated. Blue-haired boy. Oh, is that it? Masked voice. Yes, so. Let me tell you guys what's the first stage of the test is about. And what are its rules? The first stage of the examination is a battle royal among the participants of each fake cities. Only final 10 would be able to continue to pass on the second stage. Blue-haired boy. Excuse, but how would we eliminate the contestants from the examination at this battle royal, and what is the second stage of examination? Masked voice. Oh, it's simple. If you want to eliminate the participants, all you have to do is kill the other participants, and only those 10 who survive till the end would win. After this, all the participants began to roar in panic and began to rebel for not taking examination. Before the Mars projector silenced them again, the same blue-haired boy calmed them down, and he again spoke on their behalf. Blue-haired boy. But you said that they will only be eliminated. Is that what you mean by elimination? If so, then we aren't participating in this test. Masked voice. Oh boy, you are right. This is what elimination means in my dictionary. Also, not participating is not an option for you. If you guys don't participate on the test, then we would kill your families. After this statement, another projector is shown. On that projector, various family members of the participants are shown. After showing for a while, the masked voice spoke again. Masked voice. So, what have you guys about participating again? Think twice, because your decision will decide the fate of your family members. Blue-haired boy. It is unfair that you are using our family as the shield and are forcing us to participate in the test against our wills. At this statement, the masked voice laughed and told the boy that. Masked voice. Fair. Listen here, boy, life isn't fair and the world isn't fair. The world is all about survival of the fittest. In this world, strong rules and weak are either swallowed by the strong or eliminated. After this statement, everyone went silent. After a few moments of silence, the masked projector spoke again. Masked voice. So whom of you guys are ready to participate in the test? After this statement, all of the participants raised their hands in each fake cities. After that, the masked voice spoke again. Masked voice. If everyone is ready to participate willingly, then let the battle royal begin. After the statement, a horn rung across the fake cities and all the students suddenly rushed at each other. So, this was the end of this series. Stay tuned for next part of this series, and if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time.